Hey everybody, Dennis here with Restorative Sensei. We're on Egan's Fundamental of Restorative Care, Chapter 5, Part 2, and this is the second part of what Chapter 5 is about, which is really about ethics. If you haven't caught the first chapter, please go back and watch it. We described the nature of ethics in the healthcare organization. Now we want to just talk about a few terms that you need to know in real life, but also for the NBRC exam. And the first one is that we believed in something called informed consent. Informed consent is when we go ahead and tell the patient everything that we know about them, their test results, their disease, everything, so that they can decide whether they want that next procedure or how to proceed with their health care. Informed consent, underpinning informed consent is something called veracity. Veracity means the degree at which you're telling all of the truth to the patient. Not only the truth, but all of the truth. And if we're not careful, we can also do something called benevolent deception. Now, benevolent deception refers to the idea that we might sometimes think we're supposed to hold something from the patient because we don't want to make them feel bad. Good example of that is we might have got some test results back that showed that their cancer is much more farther progressed than they thought. And so if we tell them that, that could destroy their hope. And sometimes we might think we're doing a good job by not telling them all of it because we don't want them to be depressed. But that destroys what we call veracity. In other words, the truthfulness that we're giving. And it also destroys or undermines their ability to operate off what is called informed consent. So in other words, as soon as they find out that their cancer is progressing a little more quickly than they thought, a little more aggressively, then they and their family might want to re-talk about what they do or what procedures they undergo. Maybe they don't want to go through the whole chemo process. And so if we hold back, even though we think we're doing a good job, then that destroys veracity, and that does not follow the true spirit of something called informed consent. I'm Dennis, Restorative Sensei. Be sure to subscribe so you can catch more of the videos, especially on Egan and the other topics coming up.